Okay, hopefully we're live again. Poor signal here, so... Anyway, it looks like we're looking at trumpeter swans. Now, oops, didn't want to do that. What do we have here? We have, guessing it's also trumpeter swan. Oh, there's a pintail. Cute. Love pintails. Oh, just saw another pintail, and I think one of the geese honked. Yes. Let's look at the geese, not the geese, I'm sorry, the swans. Don't want to confuse you any more than necessary. Okay, everyone zooms along on this road. Kind of sleepy. And there are more swans in the distance, and a lot of Canada geese in the distance too. This may have to be a spot where we come back again in the future. This could be interesting, but I want to get moving. It all depends on how often water is here. You know, if it's, and actually this looks like, they do look like fields, agricultural fields, so it could be that, you know, they've since been harvested, and also because here the normal, maybe the vegetation grows to an extent that you can't see anything here, and maybe nothing is here much of the year. But we're going to move on. Though, and there's that possible eagle's nest, and so we may have, for us anyway, just discovered a new area to visit, and it's close. They're agricultural fields, and they're you know, they're all with mature crops, and now harvested areas often seem to draw like the Canada geese and other species, because, you know, when they harvest, they don't take 100% of everything that's edible, and, you know, such birds will can find some decent food in such fields. We're going to go straight ahead and continue here on Armitage Road. As we did last week. Now again, we still have signal issues along this road, so I may lose you again. It was up ahead that we saw the very unfortunate sighting last week of the dead. Oh, there's a hawk of some sort in the air. Bird of prey. Long tail, I'm guessing. I don't know what that is. Maybe a Cooper's hawk, if I had to guess. Given its apparent size, it's heading down. I can't see it now because my car's in the way, and it's heading towards that barn over there. But I'm guessing that was a Cooper's hawk, based on what I believe was its size and the long tail. Anyway, it was last week we saw up ahead here unfortunately, the dead red-tailed hawk. Not the highlight of the day, I can tell you that. Not the highlight of the day. So where we're headed up here is another area where fields get harvested, and I believe we've seen in the past, not last year, but in prior years, once or twice we saw huge numbers of Canada geese foraging in a field that's right near here. And to this point, though, I don't see anybody. Take that back. I see some white way out there. Might be snow geese. And I do see some Canada geese. So let me just give you a quick look. I mean, I don't see huge numbers, but let me give you a quick look. Wait a second. What is that? Hold on. Nothing. Okay. So you see Canada geese, and I'm guessing snow geese, just by the way they're moving. Not just by the way they're moving, but because we have the Canada geese there. I mean, there's always a chance they're something else, but I don't believe they're swans, because look how they are in terms of size comparison to the Canada geese. Roughly the same size. Maybe a little smaller, but certainly not larger like swans would be. But not huge numbers. So we're going to move on. Hold on, what do I see? A couple candidates. Okay, we're going to turn around up ahead. But again, I believe these were cornfields, and then they've been harvested. So, they don't. When they harvest, they don't get everything. They do leave some food behind, or at least something that is edible to the birds, and they come and they forage here. So I have no problem with that. But there was one time we came here and there were thousands of, there must have been thousands of geese, Canada geese, or at least maybe 1,000 in very close proximity to each other and to us, and it was just interesting to see. Is it believable? I don't know. Maybe. By the way, if anyone has tried to sign up for MeWe and join the group, I'll look at things later in terms of getting people into the group. Right now we're on the tour, so you know, kind of busy. I'll say this about MeWe, it looks like it has a fairly clean look. It's not that much different than from Facebook, and they don't bombard me with ads or with suggestions to do this or to do that or to promote this or promote that, which is kind of nice. So the page looks the same every time I load it up, whereas with Facebook it looked different every time for me, even though I was going to the same exact same exact page. And you know, it's experimental for us. We'll see if we like it, if it's worthwhile, and if there's ever a security or privacy issue, I'm out of there. Looks like, let me look from here. Preliminarily, looking down below, quite a few Canada geese. And it looks like there are a few sandhill cranes down there. The sun is coming out, which may seem great, but in a way it's not so good. It doesn't take a lot of heat, it just takes a lot of some warming from the sun to cause the heat shimmer, which gives us so many problems, especially over long distances. Oh, now the wind kicks up. Thanks. All right. Let's give you a look at things with this camera. Just a wide view. Well, there's some white down there, I think. So there might be some snow geese or swans down there too. I don't know, I guess I'm thinking swans. Looking over the area, I don't know if you can tell, but, well, first of all, we have just some kind of a, I don't know what you want to call it, but some rain is coming through. It's windy, and the drops of rain are small, but they're filling the air quite well. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell what's going on over there, just because of partly because of the rain and wind. As for cranes, where did I see them? In that area there. Maybe those are snow geese. Oh no, there's at least one of them that looks like a swan there. But yeah, so maybe they're swans. You can hear the wind blowing a little bit. We may not be here all that long, even though there are quite a few birds to look at down there. Okay, now maybe this whatever rain is blowing over a little bit, so I'll shut off the car and we'll try to take a look with the other camera, see if we can see anything interesting. Prepare things here a little bit. If we see something, I'll attach the teleconverter, but I think otherwise we're going to go without it. You know, I need to look with binoculars just at a couple things. One second. A lot of geese filing in right now. Fair amount. Not a huge number, but where are they? Okay. Where were we? So we're not going to, you know, have an exhaustive review of every single bird down there, of course, but we're going to take a general look, I think. See if we notice anything out of the ordinary or special in some way. These geese on alert. Oh! Many geese took off. Don't know if they're coming back or if they left. Some seem to be coming back. Don't know what that was about. Quite honestly, I regretted being on this camera. Sometimes I like the wider field of view, but you know what? That rain is coming back in again, and it wouldn't have been great with that either. The other camera. You can see there, our visibility is not good right now. So these are definitely swans down here. I'm not sure if they're trumpeter or tundra. We saw, shortly after we arrived, there were ducks down there, and they flew quickly from one spot to another, but I don't see them now. They could be that they're in there and kind of hidden by the vegetation. It's very possible. Or I'm just not looking in the right spot. I wonder if the geese are now returning again. Many of them? All of them? I don't know. And closer to me there are ducks in the air, which I would have a hard time showing you, and they're moving a little faster. And their wings are flapping faster, as we've discussed earlier today. believe I just heard a sandhill crane. See, now, if you've been here with me before, maybe this is unremarkable, maybe even boring to you. But I can tell you this, I find it impressive even now, but certainly the first times I visited here and saw these kinds of numbers of Canada geese, you know, it's the kind of thing you see on TV, not the kind of thing you see with your own eyes. And, you know, it remains special to me anyway, to this day. I see a northern harrier in the way. I think it just flew through our view. There it is. Okay. So let's, or on the ground. Or on ground level, I should say, somewhere in the water. Oh, quite a few geese. I don't know if they're coming in or if they've already been here, but before we forget, let's look at the sandhill cranes a little bit, at least where I last saw them. See plenty of ducks, more geese, of course. I believe I've counted at least 19, maybe wrong, sandhill cranes down there. And I don't know if I've looked at all of them anyway. See, we've got northern pintails down there. I don't believe we saw any pintails on, you know, from Wildlife Drive on the main pool, but we've seen pintails there. We've seen some pintails back at Armitage Road. Also seen mallards down there. Absolutely love northern pintails. They're beautiful. Is calling up to them. We're not seeing it. Let me have another look around a little bit with binoculars. And I think we're going to get going very, very, very shortly. Yep, let's get going. Okay. I mean, there's always a chance there's something I missed down there. Maybe there's a, you know, a greater white-fronted goose or something like that, mixed in with the Canadas. Hold on 1 second. Okay, but I think we're going to get going. Time is short. Wonder, where are they arriving from? Were they in the area already, or are they actually flying through and they've been called down to a good spot? Who knows? Okay, let's get going, I think. Again, you know, maybe there is something down there that I've missed. That's very possible. There have been times when we've been here and, hold on 1 second, and other people have pointed out, you know, a particular, you know, species of goose, like a, you know, like a, the white-fronted goose, for instance, that I mentioned, and, you know, that's fine, but, you know, this isn't sour grapes in case we're missing anything now, but I can say this, if we are missing it, chances are it means we wouldn't have had a good look at it anyway, because it is that far away from us. We could have had a decent look, but, you know, certainly nothing in terms of image quality. It's not like it would be the best look ever. am glad that the area is drawing Canada geese. I hope that it ends up drawing snow geese, and that we're able to see, be here at that time. Wherever the snow geese go, I want to have, I love to see them in large flocks, and to see them take off in large groupings is really something special. What I'd really love is to be, have them be in an area where we can be fairly close to them and see that sort of a takeoff. I want to look at something here. Hold on one second. Never mind. Okay. I asked a little bit about Shockey Pool this morning, and apparently, at least according to his belief, the gentleman that was inside, he doesn't believe they ever mow it down. Maybe they can't, because there's even when they let it go and dry out, when they try to dry it out, maybe it doesn't dry out sufficiently to really do that, to allow them to mow. That was his belief. So they probably he was really certain that whether or not they've allowed it to start filling back up on its own. But I'll say this: highly unlikely that we'll be seeing it looking like a regular pool with seeing the water's surface this year. That vegetation has grown, and even if they let water in, it's not going to fill in so much that it's going to, I don't believe it's going to be above the tops of the grasses that are there. So, it could be, there could be thousands of ducks there, for instance, but it may be that we won't be able to see them well, or at all, really. Things are thinning out here in terms of the vegetation to our right. I may be able to see some of the areas. Well, not many. I was going to say, without getting out of the car, I might be able to see whether it looks like things are worth it. Although even if there are no leaves at all, I mean, you can't get a 100% clear look. There could always be something. See a lot of pigeons. See, a red-bellied woodpecker just flew over the road into a tree to our right. pigeons are still flying around. See, for me, I mean, even if we're not seeing a lot of birds, a day like today, I'm enjoying this. You know, I just like going from one area to another. Montezuma has a nice variety for us, and it was even nice going to that other area on Armitage Road. Just to, you know, stop there and look around. It's almost 3 o'clock, so we really don't have that much more time. I don't think I'm going to even stop here, quite honestly, at all. I think I believe there are some ducks out there on the water. And maybe I should go take a look and see if there's anything really interesting. But we don't have the time. I think we're gonna, unfortunately, move on. Shortchange Maze Point really a lot. Yeah, there are definitely some ducks out on the water. I can see them. Or I just saw them anyway. You know, in some ways, we're spoiled. If I were to, you know, driving here, see a red-tailed hawk in a tree right near the road, we could stop and take, let's say, assuming it stays put, stop and take a look at it, and it would be interesting. But if you think about it, we've had so many opportunities over the years to get real close-ups of red-tailed hawks that's almost like nothing special anymore. Or at least, well, I say nothing special, it sounds really bad, but I mean, it's not out of the ordinary. A lot of ducks flying around here right now. Fair number anyway. Let me just have a look with binoculars. I don't know if I'm even going to get out. We've seen in the past, we have seen sandhill cranes here. And I'm not saying I expect them here, but I think we've only seen them maybe once or twice here. A couple times. 2 or 3 times. And quite honestly, if there are any here today, I don't expect that we'd get a great look at them. I am going to get out of the car. I just want to climb the tower and see if there's anything really special that pops out at me. If not, I think we're going to move on, and I want to just drive by with you guys with me one more area, and then we'll probably pack up and head back to Ithaca. Okay, I'll be right back. Well, I did see a couple northern harriers in flight, but we're not going to stay. There's nothing going on here really, or at least nothing all that visible and worth the time, or at least, you know, making me believe it's worth the time. I just want to drive along a little ways and check out the couple spots, just to, in case anyone special is nearby. There are other places to possibly go, including the North Spring Pool here, which I don't believe we've ever actually visited together. The South Spring Pool, which we have visited together on a few occasions. We could have, I guess, gone to the Sandhill Crane Unit, for instance. Who knows what ducks we would have seen up there. You know, when they have the heron meetup, usually in September, you know, they often have a trip up here to Montezuma, and you know, some people can't get around all that well, and it's understandable if they don't want to do a lot of walking. And one thing nice about Wildlife Drive, obviously, there's no walking. But, you know, there are other areas that you can visit. Now, I just went, you know, on the tower at Shockey Pool. You don't have to go on the tower. Maybe you won't see much if you don't. But there are other without leaving car, depending on, you know, what equipment you have and how you use it, and also how many other cars are there. But, I mean, there are other places to go that are actually really good to visit. What do I see? 1 second. Shoot. I gotta back up. I'm gonna back up more. Cars behind me. Be able to see it if it's what I think it is anyway. You know what? This is a cattle egret. Not native to this country. But we've seen one here. We're near the Goose Haven Farm, which is not a haven for geese actually, but we've seen one here before. And that's why we're here, just in case one was here again today. I had heard there was a cattle egret in the area, but I didn't hear about it being here. But I thought, well, never know, maybe it is here. Or maybe one is here. And, okay, so we're not going to be here that much longer. Especially if it's hiding like that. And I don't know if I could find really a better spot. Are those pheasants over there? I think so. Yes, pheasants. You see plenty of those at the pheasant farm. Okay, I just wanted to see if we could see a cattle egret. That's nice to see, although we didn't get a great look. And I want to drive just a little ways further and see if we can see anything else. Like I said, we've seen a cattle egret here before. I don't know if it was the same one, but on two separate occasions, actually. So now we've seen one here a third time. And there are cows there, so maybe that's what draws it there, and who knows how it finds its way here to the area in the first place, but it does, so. Okay, I think that is just about it for Montezuma for the day. And I'm going to, I think, pack up, head to Ithaca. Let's say maybe about 4:45 we should restart. Somewhere around there, maybe sooner, maybe later. Okay, so let's look at a time of about 4:45. Okay? All right, everybody. I'll see you in a while. Bye-bye.